Hello, friends. So, Bible study, video 2, the NIV, John, chapter 19. This one will be a nice short one, 38 through 42, the burial of Jesus. So, Jesus has been crucified. He's fulfilled the scriptures. Not one of his bones were broken. And we're at the burial part. Later, Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. So he's an important person. Now Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, because he feared the Jews. What a difference it would have made if he had been willing to be vocal. With Pilate's permission, he came and took the body away. He wants it handled respectfully. He was accompanied by Nicodemus, the man who had earlier visited Jesus in the night. Now this is important here because Nicodemus is the teacher of teachers. He teaches rabbis. He's on the council. If these two men had been vocal and united in their "this is the Messiah," this whole thing would have turned out completely different. But Jesus needed to fulfill the scriptures. Now that doesn't mean he doesn't feel something inside. Both of them feel like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, what do we do? Right? Like that. I feel I could have saved this man's life and I didn't. What do I have to do something. So they're handling what the disciples wouldn't be able to. Because anybody who would have come forward, who could be any question, something other than this man's family. Like Mary could have come forward, but they're women, they don't speak with women. So a man in Jesus' family would have had to come forward to claim the body, or something disrespectful could have happened to it. Any of those disciples come forward to ask for it, they're good as dead. These two, any one of these two, it's okay. So, Nicodemus brought a mixture of myrrh, that's what they anointed dead bodies with, and aloes, about 75 pounds, which is a lot. Taking Jesus' body, the two of them wrapped it with spices and in strips of linen. This is in accordance with Jewish burial customs, which is true. But big deal here. Nicodemus is a rabbi. He's not supposed to touch a dead body. He's violating Levitical law. And you're like, what do you mean he doesn't? Because to a Christian, it's like, well, who proceeds over the funerals? I don't know. It's an excellent question. Somebody must. I know it can happen it happens in, I've been to a Jewish funeral. The body was not present in the building. The memorial happened within the temple. So it's not like as if no words are spoken. They just don't encounter the dead body. In fact, the entire family who encountered the dead body now has to sit in their house. They call it sitting Shiva. It's mourning, but it's also a little bit of a kind of like an Irish wake. You celebrate their life. You have to talk about them. You're going to go from grieving and to joy to grieving and joy. And, this is the process of mourning over death. But it's a big deal. He by nature is not supposed to be anywhere near there. So it speaks to a deep level of respect, but also a deep level of guilt. At the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden, a new tomb in which no one had ever been laid. It's not claimed by any particular family. It was not unlike them to put the bones of of multiple people in one family in a tomb. That's usually how it worked. It's a family tomb. Everybody goes in there. Because it was Jewish day of preparation, and since the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there. Like they had to get back. This is something they're slipping out, doing in secret, mostly. Pilate knows who asked for the body, but doing it. The two of them are doing this in secret to go lay him to rest because they don't want disrespectful things happening to their body or to his body, because they have more respect for him. They just did not choose to voice that in the light of day. So that's a good reminder. When we don't do what we know we're supposed to do, and we don't speak when we're supposed to speak, and we don't help who we're supposed to help, bad things can happen to other people. We don't live in a vacuum. Our choices affect the choices of others. You don't do your job properly at work, somebody else has to come in and clean up after you. All right? That's the nature of it. When we act out of selfishness, when we act out of only our best interest, we help darkness take root in the world. So there's no way for that to not affect others. Just as when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, when we're supposed to be doing it, and the divine light is shining through us and it goes out to other people, our presence can make people feel calm, make people feel uplifted, make people feel like they can take on the world. Or our presence can make people feel negative. They can make people feel dark, and they can make people feel like they're just there. We create our own reality. So what do we want to do? Do we want to breathe life into people today, or do we want to breathe death into people today? Because it's only the real two choices that there are. That doesn't necessarily mean telling people things they want to hear. It means delivering news that they might not like with gentleness, grace, and compassion, and trying to help them find a way to soften the blow. So let's remember we're interacting with other people today as we go about the world.